You must push back against the machine. However you can do it in your own life, and especially if you're a politician or a pundit, you must not give the machine what it wants. You must call out the nonsense. So here's a really nice moment from over the weekend. Glenn Youngkin, who is the governor of Virginia, and as you guys know, he was not going to be the governor of Virginia. When polls came out only a few weeks before, he was losing, he was not going to win, and then he started going after the woke stuff, and he started making sure that kids were going to be protected in school, and they weren't going to pull all this trans nonsense and all of that, and then he ended up winning. Well, he was on Jake Tapper's show over the weekend, and you can watch how Jake tries to get him. I mean, just heavy-handed nonsense. And Glenn Youngkin comes back with, how about some of that sanity?
Plan, because you just released it this week, it scales back Virginia's wind and solar energy emphasis. Instead, focuses on nuclear power, economic competition. But I wonder if the events in your first year as governor, the more intense hurricanes, which scientists say they're more intense because of climate change, the war in Ukraine, and this week's OPEC decision, making the insecurity of where we get our fuel from highlighted. Doesn't that suggest that we should be leaning into more green energy, not less?
Well, to be clear, what I've called for is an all of the above. And in fact, it's not reducing an emphasis on renewables, wind and solar. It's correcting an error that was made in the previous administration's energy plan, which was to exclude everything else. And so we need to, yes, move forward with wind and solar. We need to move forward with carbon capture and natural gas. We need to move forward with nuclear. And one of the things that I believe is that we have a great opportunity in Virginia to lead the nation in the development of small modular reactors in nuclear in order to provide baseload power that's clean and reliable and affordable. And this is why common sense has to come back into this equation, which is we can't evacuate one of our strengths, which is the fact that we innovate in America. Mm-hmm. And we can, in fact, find a way that natural gas can continue to be a huge part of our overall power stack. We can innovate across nuclear, and we can embrace renewables like wind and solar. But we're going to have to adopt all of them in order to get where we want to be, which is reliable, affordable, and a clean power stack.
Ain't it great when people who know what they're talking about and have thought the issues through actually state their case clearly? Sure, we can do some of the green stuff. We can do some wind stuff. We can do some water stuff. We can do some nuclear stuff. There's other things that we have to do. We can't ignore fossil fuels. Let's do these things in tandem. Jake, who unfortunately, he's a Democrat. He's just a Democrat activist pretending to be a journalist. So he mentions all this. And shouldn't we be green? It doesn't mean anything. Shouldn't we be green? It would be nice. Where's Kermit the Frog? Let's be green. And then Youngkin just comes in and says, well, actually, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and we're not going to destroy the economy in the name of, the Green New Deal. So I just thought that was a really nice moment. And I think what's going to happen is more and more people are going to realize that they will have a breaking point with all of this. And perhaps the ultimate realization of that will be, hopefully, a giant red wave when it comes to the midterms. We shall see.